Hi my friend, it's Pat Sloan here for Saturday, my daily video, and it is charity block day for Make-A-Wish. This week's block is called Fateful. It's like fateful love, something like that. Anyway, it is, I think, my favorite block in the whole charity quilt, called Serendipity, that we're supporting Make-A-Wish by buying the blocks or doing a donation for the whole sew-along, which all goes to the Make-A-Wish Foundation to make wishes for children. So here is the block. I love this block. I want to make a whole quilt with this block. I don't know, it just speaks to me. I think it looks like, I don't know, tiles or something. It is just so cool. Very cool block. So let me show you all of mine. These are made with my Morrison Park. That's what I'm doing mine for. And in case you didn't realize it, my quilt is going to go up for auction. So I'll talk to you a little bit about that in a second. So here's the blocks for my row. The reds and pinks, the pops of gold and green. And there's another red and another pink. Here we go, and a pink one. I like it. They look really different, don't they? So let me show you the back. Everybody wants to see the back. So it is pressed to the side and just nice and tidy. There you go. You can see all of it. Okay. One of the cool things about the Make-A-Wish is that Kimberly and Kevin Jolly and Moda, a fabric company Moda, are all not only hosting this, but they are donating their own money to the Make-A-Wish. So there's a whole fundraising drive, and then the wishes are paid for, however many wishes the money will support. And of course, all the children's wishes are different. You never know what they will be. I think they went and awarded one of the wishes recently, Kimberly and Kevin, at the Fat Quarter Shop, and it was for a very small girl, very young, like, you know, only a couple of years old, and she wanted to go shopping, and they took her to Build-A-Bear, where I guess they had the store for the time period she was there, so that everybody could be safe, because she was very sick, and they had let her build a bear, and it was just so sweet to see those photos. So that is what the whole drive is for. It has been going on for about 10 years now, I think. If you watch Kimberly's live stream for the Fat Quarter Shop yesterday, when you went to see my book, when she did my book, also she had a break in between, and they showed us slides of all of their charity quilts that they had done over the years. And I believe, I forget what it is, like 8th year or something like that, that I'm doing it, and my quilt will also be auctioned. This is a row quilt, which is just beautiful. Theirs is on navy, and it's stunning. I am using a light background, and there are all my blocks up there. Let me just put these on the wall too, so that we can get a feel for what it's going to look like. Now, see, I'll go pink, red, and I have to unhook myself here so I can move. There we go. I've got it clipped to me so that it doesn't drag. Okay, pink, red in Morrison Park, which you can get now. I don't know, I'm loving this so much. I may have to bid on it for myself or make myself another one. I could do that too. So there you go. There are 2 more sections that come on here, and then there's a gorgeous piece flower for the back. I'm just going to grab one of these because I think I'm going to need it to show you something else then. What I am doing in order to get this to them for photography and all the things they have to do to put it up for auction, I will be sewing the rest of the rows, but I'll also be doing a video so that I can plug in a video for the next few weeks as we roll through here and show you the quilt, the different blocks, just like we're doing right now, but I'll record them so that I can get this sewn, because then I have to send it to Cindy and Dennis Dickinson, who have been the people quilting them. They donate their time to quilt the quilt for charity, and then they'll send it back to me, and I'll do a binding on, and then I'll send it back to the Fat Quarter Shop. So I'm going to use the stripe, my stripe from Morrison Park for the binding. It has to have a stripe, don't you think? I think so. Now, you can go and download these blocks. It's not too late to join. It is a beautiful quilt, so even if you don't make it right now, you could donate to Make-A-Wish and have all these for the future. So speaking of Kimberly and the Fat Quarter Shop and all the fun things that they do, yesterday during her live stream at the end was she has all of my books from the holiday celebrations, and she has all the quilts from the book. And she showed them all, and she even showed all the backs, and she showed my labels and the hanging sleeves. She showed all that stuff. She had to keep putting her finger over my phone number. It was kind of funny. I was like, I didn't know she was going to show all that. So I don't always show the backs of all the quilts, but I guess you guys like to see that because she was flipping everything over. So I have a link down below, and also yesterday at my website, and if you want, I might even have it today again for the charity block. Just go ahead and put her video in there again, because she has 20% off my book, which is for a few days. That is active, an active code, and I will have that at my website, so you can go to my website today and get the code and watch the video, because it's a lot of fun. I actually start the video when you run hers. It'll be right where my things start, but then go back and watch the whole thing. She did sewing the serendipity, and when she's sewing, she's not just telling you the sewing. She's answering questions, because she has a whole team of people there, and so people are giving her questions from the live stream, and then she'll answer them. And she goes and talks about, she was talking about wrestling, professional wrestling that she and her kids watch, the WW Wrestling League. She was talking about mystery books or mystery, true crime. She likes true crime stuff. So there was all this kind of other conversation that goes on. And it's nice when you have a staff who can give you those questions, because it's impossible to read them when you're actually, in a live thing. They just go by way too fast in that stream. So I had fun. I had fun chatting with everybody over on Kimberly's channel during the showing of my book. So that was really cool. I hope you get in on the discount. Now, I had a question that I thought was really interesting from Karen, and she said that she notices I put borders on the top and the bottom. If a quilt has 4 borders, she notices that I often write it as put the top border, the bottom border, then put the sides. And she says other people will put the sides on and then the top and the bottom. And she wanted to know what was the correct way. Well, there isn't a correct way. There is ways to do it. They all end up with the borders. And what I did is I did this graphic here. So I'm first going to put up this graphic and talk from that, and then add a little bit more. So you can if you put the sides on, if you put the top and the bottom on first, and then you put the sides, your quilt will visually look longer, because you will see those edges longer like this. If you flip it and you put the sides on first, and then you put the top and the bottom on second, it will appear wider. So if you look at those two graphics, you can see that one looks a little longer, the first one, and the other one looks a little chunkier, because we have a visual of the border that is wider. So on this little guy that I have for the Prim Stitchery, I want this to look a little bit longer. I don't want it to look squatty, because it's already small. So it's an illusion, but it does help. Plus, it's a directional fabric, and I feel like it just gives it a nice length. Now, you could put them on, I was being a little bit silly, because I don't know that anybody really ever does this, but you could put them on log cabin style, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you can see the graphic. On the graphic I have that, but that's really kind of silly. I don't know that anybody would do that on a big quilt. The other reason, now imagine this is a full quilt. The other reason you may want to do, depending on if it's not a square, if it's a rectangle, if you don't want to cut up your fabric and sew seams, if you don't want to have seams, you might find that one direction you can just squeeze off of the fabric that you're using and not have to have so much extra fabric to get the full length without getting a border that has a seam in it. So that's a mathematical thing. You figure that out when you're designing the quilt, and often you will find people who are trying to be as efficient as possible, or trying to give you, if you have a beautiful fabric, you don't really want to have a seam right in it that you have to match perfectly. It's easier to have the whole fabric as one piece. So that's another huge consideration that goes into how your borders are cut, and what goes on first is that continuous length of fabric. Because if you're cutting on end to end, it's 40 inches, and anything over 40 inches will need to be seamed unless you do cut the whole length of your fabric. So hopefully that makes a little sense. It adds a little into what goes on and why we do things like this. There are actually rhyme and reason behind them. Now, the other day I was talking to you about my love of Heather Ross fabric, and I wanted to show you this bundle that I got a little while ago now. But it is, well, I think her most recent line, which is called Malibu. And I have always loved her fabric. It is in that one sampler that was had the mermaids in it and the animal prints from the Farmer's Wife book. So let's take a look at, who doesn't love to just look at fabric? So this is why I love her drawings. Now, Heather is an artist who has done loads and loads of fabric lines, and prior she had a business where she designed clothing. She had all kinds of things. Look at these cute little birds. This is why I like her artwork. It just speaks to me. Now here, this trellis work looks like little pomegranates in there. Here's little birds on another color. So, you know, they're gonna have a repeat here. The turtles are funny because it looks like they're swimming, right? They come on different colors. And so all of this, you know, but here's a new print that we didn't see that. The Malibu, these are the girls surfing, the surfing girls. Like, I have a lot of family that moved to Southern California, and so this really makes me think of them. Of course, some of them just moved to Wyoming from there, and a lot of them live in other states now, but I'm sure that if any of those kids, they're girls, the girls would see this, it would just speak to them. There's a couple different shades. Look at all the green. Isn't that fabulous? Look at that. The yellow. So Heather's color combinations are also, Heather Ross is just, I always love them. They bright and cheerful. Then there's a few, I'm just going to put that over there. There's a few other pieces because she has got that trellis in a couple of colors, and then these great big plaids. Look at this. Look at that plaid. Look how big that is. And those come in a couple of colors. There's one. I just like that one a lot. More surfer girls. Here we go. And they come in a few colors. So I really feel like I should do something for one of my nieces that, maybe all three of them. I should make 3 quilts. I'm always wanting to make quilts for them. Here's some coral and sea life in a couple of different colors. Bright, happy colors. Get that out there. I was thinking this block would be very cool because it has, the block, you know, today has this big area. So I could get the surfer girls in here, and then the other fabrics in this area, and then fussy cut, you know, different things in these corners. Even if this block were maybe redrafted so it were bigger, and then I could showcase that fabric a little bit more. Dreams, dreams, dreams. Those are my dreams. All right, my friend, today you will make a fateful block. Fateful, yes. So I love you. All the links are below, and you can get them go to my website and get everything. Mwah. See you online.